one just over here doing some spins with his lightsaber showing off.
Hello there.
Alright, so hope everyone's having a good CCE. We are, I hope. I mostly. This is dealing with negativity in the cosplay community. So I'm Galactic Kitten Cosplay, and this is
Mecha Rain Cosplay.
I've been a cosplayer since 2011.
2017.
I've got you beat. Guess I'm the master now.
That's what not what your three little limbs said.
Anyway, so yes, the cosplay community has definitely changed over the years, and it's definitely gotten more people to it, which has also seen an increase in bullying, harassment, and negativity as a whole. And some of the newer people to the community don't quite understand how to always deal with these situations, and that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about some of the better ways to handle situations you might find yourself in so you can stay safe and have a good con. So let's start with everybody's favorite high school BFF bullies. They're everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So when someone's bullying you, the first thing you want to do is actually ask them firmly to stop. Because should anything ever go into a legal matter, the fact that you ask them firmly to stop in a firm voice, not a commanding voice, not a nasty voice, not yelling, just a firm, hey, you need to stop, will help you a long, long way, because it will help you have a better case against somebody who is truly harassing you. If that doesn't work, walk away from them. If they choose to follow you, that becomes a whole new level of problems for them, but the fact that you walked away will help you out, and it will also get you out of that situation. And when you're at a con, if somebody is bullying you, someone's following you, someone's harassing you, you need to get help from staff. There are staffers all around. They're usually very sweet people, and they will help you. They will get you out of the situation. They will call security if needed. I've had multiple issues over the years. Let's see, what was it, 2 years ago? We had that issue?
Which issue?
The 7th floor.
Well, there was one in 2019 and last year as well.
The 2019 one.
Oh yeah, that one.
So in 2019, we were here at CCE, and we had someone in our room who came to stay with us last minute. Another friend had asked if they could stay. They had apparently been having a very hard time of things, and we were trying to be nice and let them room with us. What had actually happened was Neko's then friend, who was staying in another room, and this person decided that they were going to gossip about Neko and us behind our backs, and then go to each of us and say, hey, this person said that this person said, hello? Bad mic. It actually ended up causing a fight between me and Neko, and we've been friends for years.
2018.
That was 2017.
Whichever year we did Devils Apart time.
That was 2017.
Oh.
That was 4 years ago.
4 years, because that's how long I've known that one there. So, it ended up causing a fight between us, and Neko was pissed. Like, he was yelling, he had lost his temper, he was very upset because I was accused of saying some really terrible things about him. When I never actually said any of those things, what I had said was I was concerned that they maybe were feeling sick because they had not eaten that day and maybe had drank a little too much that day. Somehow that got taken to mean, what did they say that I said? That you were an alcoholic? And you were like poisoned or something?
Yeah, they said that I had too much to drink and I had alcohol poisoning.
No, what I had actually said is I was concerned for their safety because he forgot to eat that day.
No, I didn't.
You had like a breakfast sandwich and then you didn't eat in front of us like again, and that's what we're concerned about.
That didn't mean I didn't eat.
How could we know? Anyway, that's literally what our argument was about. And after I calmed down, I'm like, Neko, listen to me. We've been friends for years. You know I wouldn't say these things about you. You were like one of my closest con friends. And after we calmed down, we realized these two people were mutually going back and forth trying to start a fight in the room. So what we ended up doing is we ended up removing the problem person from our room. They were asked to leave and we were calling security. and we sat down as a group and we discussed everything that had happened. So that's an example of what you need to do when you're in that situation. If you have someone who is intentionally trying to cause a fight in your room or cause a fight between you and your friends, you need to get away from that person and you need to sit down with the person that you're now arguing with and be like, hey, this is what was actually said, and this is the type of person you know me as. When you're angry, you're not going to listen. Trust me, I know. I get angry a lot.
Mm-hmm.
You got anything to add to this?
That depends. You want a joke or no?
Uh-oh.
I love jokes.
Uh-oh.
Well, I think Master Yoda put it pretty plainly to you.
Master Yoda's bad at communication.
But here's the problem. You're dumber than a bag of sand.
Don't like sand. But anyway, another situation that you can be in with bullying is, were you there for the Courtney thing?
No.
Okay. So back in Otakon 20, no, it was 2018 you were with us at Otakon. Back in Otakon 2017, I had a previous co-host before this one. They decided to show up to a photo shoot we were hosting 20 minutes late, and we were on a very strict schedule. It was Disney. It was a big Disney shoot. We had probably, I'd say 80 to 100 people there. And I started the shoot without them because the con had told me, hey, you have to start, we can't stall any longer. They came in and started screaming. They were cussing. The con was not happy.
And weren't there kids there?
There were. We had probably about 8 children under, I'd say they're probably all under at least 13. And she was just going off. I started crying, like she was being so mean to me in that moment that I started crying. I told her to stop. She didn't, she continued to yell louder. I ended up walking away from her, which caused her to curse across the entirety of the room. And the room was probably about the size of this room, and you could hear her cursing. Staff ended up asking her to leave the event. She has not hosted a photo shoot with them since. So that's a perfect example of how that goes. You're being bullied, someone is harassing you, you tell them to stop, they don't stop, walk away, get staff. It is one of the best things that you're going to be able to do for yourself to protect you in that moment.
Nothing yet.
Oh yeah, we already discussed that. I had slides, please. Let's move on to root comments. The health department was
It would.
Alright, so let's get a show of hands. Who's had to deal with a nasty or rude comment made about them to their face or behind their back? I should see all hands. I promise you, someone has said something mean about you at some point. So, who here uses TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Google+, whatever? Okay, so then you guys know the newest trend of people that are literally going around and making mean comments in a, I guess, influencer, cosplayers page for the sole purpose of gaining attention for themselves. It's called trolling. Your favorite thing, Obi-Wan?
Oh.
This is a very serious panel, but there will be jokes because it is heavy subject matter.
One of us has to be funny.
Oh.
I know I'm hilarious.
No, you're not. No, you're not.
Ahsoka, shut it. Alright, so if the comment is made to you in person, again, walk away. I know it hurts in the moment. I know it sucks. People have made comments about my weight, my appearance. Guess what? I can't control any of that. I have medical conditions that prevent me from having a stick figure. I can't do anything really about that. However, I can walk away from them and I can choose to ignore them instead of choosing violence.
I feel like a saying I have learned from work actually would fit pretty well here. So, we're all familiar with ducks, yes? Ducks.
Like the yellow quacking?
Quack, quack, quack.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, they can let water roll right off them because of their feathers. So make like a duck and let the water roll right off them.
Isn't it because of oils in their feathers?
Yeah.
Okay, well, apparently there you go. There's your Obi-Wan quote for the day. make like a duck and let the water roll off you.
At least I didn't say like Yoda.
Yoda could say that one.
I don't think so.
But yeah, walk away. They can't actually hurt you unless they're actually being physical. In that case, please get staff. Please call 911. Please get whoever you need to. Protect yourself as best as you can. But if all
Wear
my-
face stompers.
You do have face stompers. I don't. I have riding boots. So
Always
yes,
get a buddy
that is
with
what
you.
do. So,
Oh, look
check
at
your
that.
dick.
No, this is not 18 plus. I'm going to keep that to myself.
Okay, you were supposed to demonstrate, an appropriate comeback to being insulted.
Here's the problem. I have my comebacks as comedy. And this is, again, not an 18 plus panel. I cannot make the joke I was planning on.
But trust me, if I could make this 18 plus, there would be way worse stories, and we might be doing that next year.
TV 14 is very questionable.
This is true. This is true.
Yes.
But yes, so another thing you can do, and I had this happen literally on Facebook last week. Somebody was upset that I was talking to people who were commenting their lineups, and I'd be like, oh hey, we have this event on this day, because CCE doesn't have the best schedule.
No.
No, not like Otakon, where they give you a whole app. CCE gives you a website that sometimes doesn't want to load, and sometimes doesn't even have correct information, or spell check. So, that being said, they can't actually list where photo shoots take place accurately. We were telling people, hey, this is where this photo shoot's at. This person chose to tell me that I need to stop harassing people and stop being a problem and stop talking because they were tired of reading in my comments. So what I did is, I thanked them for their feedback and then told them that I am sorry for how miserable they are and I hope that they feel better soon. I turned the situation around on them and made them look like the bad person in that moment. I stayed completely polite and politically correct with them.
Until you called us.
They ended up having their comment removed, and we all went about having a lovely chat about Has-Been Hotel.
Just remember, if they're being negative, do not stoop to their level.
Nope. Just thank them for their feedback, walk away. That is one of the best things you can do. Stay positive with yourself. You can just let it go. It cannot hurt you. It feels like it can hurt you. It really can't. You are all wonderful and beautiful people inside.
Example, who's been called a weirdo? Who has turned that into a compliment? Exactly.
Probably the weirdest one here. Ahsoka, you had a question? Or is there a question from the live stream?
Actually, I remember one of my friends got harassed on TikTok.
That's the next section.
Yeah.
Hold that thought and come back to it.
Okay.
If they continue actually being nasty to you, get a staffer involved. I did have, surprisingly this convention again, someone who actually wanted to speak today at this panel. And what they had intended to do was badmouth another cosplayer they were having issues with. They wanted to use the anti-bullying panel to bully another cosplayer. Told them no, and I told them this in private message. I didn't publicly shame them, I put it in private message. I'm like, no, I'm sorry. What you're asking to do is not quite appropriate for the content we're going to be doing. It's not something that we can allow or endorse. We will not be allowing you to do that. They proceeded to spend the next 4 hours having them and their friends harass me by sending me over 150 text messages on Messenger. Every time I blocked one of them, somebody else would start messaging me. So, I contacted the staff, and thankfully we have a lovely staffer that's here today. Thank you, staffer, for being here.
Staffers are the real MVPs.
You
Yes,
guys,
they are.
You have to deal with all the crap we end up creating. So yes, that was a perfect scenario of what happens when it doesn't stop. They were very, very nasty, because I wouldn't let them do the thing we're saying not to do here. And it ended up going to the point where staff needed to be contacted and let know of what happened. You got anything to add to this? here's a fun story. So back in 2015, when did Frozen come out?
2015.
Which one?
The first one.
2015.
2012, I think.
Okay, so yeah, it was probably 2015 then. Back in 2015, I was cosplaying as Elsa, and as I said, I have a medical condition that prevents me from being a twig. I will always have weight issues. That is just, unfortunately, the thing I have to deal with in my life. So this lovely, lovely person, while I was walking around the convention center, he was a young man, decided it was his job to shout out that Elsa needs to learn to lose weight. I was the only Elsa in that particular area of the convention, so I knew he was talking about me. And unfortunately, not all of us can be Disney sticks. Disney has gotten a little bit better about, their drawings, but they still showcase unrealistic tiny bodies.
Not everyone can work at Disney World.
True
No.
that.
I wish I could.
I would
Well,
love
I'm done, So
to.
I can tell you.
I would love to.
Be a handler, they make $100,000.
Seriously?
A handler?
All right, I'm going. See ya.
Okay, I'm gone.
Hey, take it with you. We're a team. Supposedly.
Supposedly.
Alright, what do we got next? Now we're going to talk about Instagram and TikTok.
Yay!
On these big platforms.
You want me to take over this one?
Yes, this is all you.
Oh no.
All right. Show of hands, how many of you have an Instagram? Show of hands, how many of you use TikTok?
You used to, ma'am.
How many of you post on TikTok? Okay. So, Instagram and TikTok are basically the same thing. Because you can now upload short videos to Instagram and use music as well.
I thought you could just port over your TikToks to Instagram.
You can do that too, but now Instagram wants to be their own thing. Same with Facebook, they have Reels. And Reels is just TikTok's re-upload onto Facebook. But I have a lot of friends who are much better cosplayers, or they're just more confident in their bodies. Some of the comments you see on their videos though, doesn't even have to be rude. Like, oh, well this character's like only 90 pounds soaking wet. And you're well over that. That's an example. But there are some, it goes into harassing. It could be catcalls in a comment section.
Those suck.
Like, me and my one friend, her and I cosplay. I cosplay as Prompto, and she cosplays as Cindy from Final Fantasy 15.
Yes.
And she gets more likes just because she's showing, cleavage as Cindy does. But all of this stuff is wholesome content within reason. Yes, there will be the dirty joke thrown in there every so often, but more often than not, it's wholesome. Half of her comment section is just catcalls.
So, from a female perspective, catcalls don't actually make most of us feel good. I know some guys, at least in my experience in the comment section, whenever you call someone out, they're like, oh, well, I'm complimenting the person. No, you're really not. You're making them feel grossed and creeped out right now. Because that's maybe not the look that they were going for, and you've now turned it into something not wholesome.
If you were walking down the streets in New York, would you want construction workers catcalling you?
No.
Ew.
Point exactly.
So how do we deal with this then? First off, don't actually engage them. One, I guarantee someone else in your comment section probably will at some point. So you don't need to stoop to that level and engage them yourself. Two, on some platforms, you now have the option of deleting comments. All platforms should have that option.
You can also just turn comments off.
You can, but then you don't get the good comments and you don't get to connect with the good people.
Yeah.
So what's better is to block the person because they can no longer comment, and in that case, if you don't have the option to remove their comment, the platform will usually remove it for you. At least Facebook does. Once you delete the person, the comment's kind of just taken off.
It'll hide them.
Yeah, it'll hide it, so blocking them. Then they can't say anything else. And if it continues to a level that is unnecessary, where they are making 50 fake accounts a day to harass you and continue to comment, call the police. Do not be afraid to actually report cyber harassment and cyberbullying. It is an actual thing.
I know Instagram has a feature now. You can block one account, but then any account they may make in the future.
Nice.
That is a feature, and it is a wonderful feature. However, there are some more tech-savvy creepers out there who can get around that by simply changing their IP. It's an IP-based service.
Yep. Gotta love VPNs.
Yes, gotta love VPNs. But you don't even need a VPN to change your IP. I mean, you know enough about computers, you can change that thing once an hour. So yeah, if it's becoming that much of a problem, report it. You have that option. You have that right. Maybe it'll go nowhere. Maybe nothing will happen. Or maybe you have just turned in someone and been the person that was strong enough to report someone doing something really bad, and now other people feel that they can come forward. This is how bad people get caught, when good people actually have the strength to turn them in. What was this one? I know. Oh wait, I know what this story is. You think I made this panel while sober?
No.
No. I was drinking when I wrote this script.
She was. I was on the phone with her.
Yeah, actually, so it was, and so was Chris.
Who isn't here right now?
But yeah, hate doesn't just come from online. It doesn't come from just walking down the road. You can be one of the most beautiful people in the world, and you can be doing your completely own thing, just completely chilling and vibing with life. But we actually had a lovely young lady who was just like posting videos, like makeup videos, contouring videos, and she had somebody that repeatedly told her she needs to stop making content because of the size of her nose. That was what they repeatedly spammed her chat with. To the point where after they were blocked, they came back and they did it again, and then went on to say she is not skinny enough to make makeup videos and she doesn't know how to put makeup on. I know this person, they are actually fantastic at doing makeup. They sometimes help me do my makeup when I can't do things. But yeah, that they literally start harassing her because of the size of her nose. So it's a very small detail that someone can hone in on for you. And there's nothing you can do to change that. You'll never know why someone harasses you. They're just a bad person, and it's best to just let them go. Soka?
So back to that TikTok. You remember River?
River?
Mm-hmm.
Vaguely.
Well, they got harassed by misgender a lot. And we've had the cops called. We've had everybody called, but they still were there.
So here's the thing with that. That is going to happen a lot. It is best to just block them.
We've done that.
And it's the same person coming back again and again.
Yeah.
So now they need to actually file, in that particular case, it would probably be best if they have the information. It's probably someone who does actually know them doing it. They need to file a protective order. What River's in Virginia, right?
No, River is in North Carolina.
North Carolina. They need to contact their state police and file all that, and that's a specific situation that would need to be handled with the state that they're in, and possibly the state that the harasser is in. But that's a really new thing. Gender is very misunderstood, and it's a very new concept to some people. So that person sounds like they're just harassing River to harass River. Not all people who misgender you are doing it to be negative. Some people just really, truly don't understand. They were brought up in households that, don't believe in that. And it's gonna take time to, teach the world, hey, these are new concepts that we need to embrace.
Like my
And
mother.
sometimes you do have to have a little compassion and patience. And then if the person doesn't learn and is outright doing it to hurt you, block them and cut them out of your life. Even if they've been your friend for like 20 years, say bye-bye. Your personal mental and physical health is more important than whatever somebody is doing to hurt you. Because if that person cannot learn to accept you, then they really aren't your friend at that point. They may have been at one point, but they aren't anymore. Right, yeah? Nope, okay.
Oh,
I'm
Jen.
just here to look pretty.
What time is it? Oh, sweet.
Jen,
Yes.
I also had another story.
Okay, give me 1 second.
Okay.
And finally,
Oh no.
by the way, most of your problems can be solved with the dark side of the force and or black magic and sending your enemies to hell. For legal reasons, I do have to point out this is the joke. The Jedi Council did want me to tell you to not accept the dark side.
Why
And
would you?
this is why they don't let you become a master.
I know what you're talking about. Anyway, we are now going to take stories from our audience and see if we can't help you with any of the questions that you might have or help you feel better. So, Neko, you want to go walk around in the crowd and talk?
Sure, raise up hands who has a story they would like to tell.
Don't be shy. Ahsoka does.
I'm not having the mic though. Okay then.
Gotta hear you.
I don't like the mic. So the story I have is when I was on TikTok, I've been harassed by my body size so much. And I had this one person who would not stop. I've blocked and they kept coming back with this same harassment. And I don't feel comfortable with it. But then I had this one other person, she was like my best friend. She called the cops on them right then and there. But then they called the cops back and said she started the harassment. What do I do?
So basically, in that case, I know who this person is, don't I?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. As I've already told you, what you need to do is to compile screenshots and go sit down with the police and actually have a discussion with a detective and actually launch something against them. Be like, I want to file charges, this is harassment. They can claim whatever they want. I mean, you could have made a comment they didn't like 10 years ago. It doesn't give them the excuse to continue to stalk you. That's crossing a line. If you are not actively doing anything to them, and you're not actively going back against them when they start something against you, then you're the one in the right here. That's the most important thing in this. Do not engage the person harassing you, because if it does come to legal problems, then you're going to have a harder time winning. If you don't engage, and you call the cops, and you have the proof, they are the ones in the wrong. Anyone else have stories? I feel like the lovely lady in gray wants to say something.
Yep. Okay.
So I'm also a Girl Scout leader, and one of the challenges is that impulse control or whatnot, that really they have trouble disengaging and just turning the other cheek and not.
Oh.
Suggestions?
Well, first off, let me thank you for being a Girl Scout leader. I was a Girl Scout growing up. We had
I was
an
too.
okay troop leader who ended up dropping the troop on us. But you guys do so much, so thank you for supporting our girls. What my troop did back then, because I did troop for like 4 years, we actually had scenarios where we would have one girl, usually the more outspoken girl, we'd be like, here are some lines, this is practice. We want you to say something. I know it would be like really not that bad of things like, hey, I don't like your hair today. And then we would have the girls practice disengaging, and we would do that as an exercise. And after about 3-4 weeks, our troop, we got really good at not engaging with people, because the area we were in, people were not always very nice or very friendly. And they would make comments
Chris.
about some of the size of our girls selling cookies. One of the comments I remember
Chris.
when we were out selling cookies is,
Take this.
maybe if you guys sold more instead of eating them,
Take this.
you wouldn't be so big. And that made the young lady they were talking about cry. Like, she broke it. We were probably like 10. She broke down in hysterics crying.
Take this phone. My
But we
hands
had
are
been
getting
practicing
tired.
with all of that.
Thank you.
So we ended up just walking away. Our troop leader stayed at the stand. We went inside the building we were at, and we calmed her down. But that's what we had practiced, is to walk away, to be like, thank you for your time, goodbye. And after about 3-4 weeks, all of the girls in our troop knew how to react. And that's something I strongly recommend doing with young girls and even teenagers, is to role play the scenarios. Don't have something that's actually gonna hurt them in that moment, but be like, hey, we are going to practice this. We are going to learn this skill. It is a skill that needs to be taught to our young ladies. Even the boys need to learn it. Boys can be just as hurt as girls, and it's something that we need to start teaching our children.
And you can't just sum it up that boys will be boys.
No, across the gender spectrum, because that's falling, on the wayside.
Absolutely, but that would be my recommendation, is to sit down with your girls and practice. I hope that helps you.
It does. I was just laughing to myself that our troop goes all the way up from daisies to the ambassadors their senior year, and my first two that graduated out were trans.
Oh, Peter's here. Hi, Peter.
Sorry for being late.
Well, congratulations on having them graduate. That is such an accomplishment. I never got to finish, so I know how hard it is, and that is a huge accomplishment. If you still talk to them, tell them that I congratulate them.
Once my kid kind of needed it, it's like there's scholarship there. Go, go, go.
Well, tell them that I'm very proud that they did what a lot of us can't do. Anyone have anything else? Any stories they want to share about bullying or harassment that they've dealt with?
Or anything you think might help in situations like that.
Yes, we are always looking for suggestions. I feel like Venti, the force is telling me Venti has a story to share.
Come on, Venti.
No, nothing.
I mean, I do.
Dana?
But
Nope.
Please?
We have a thing last time.
You showed up late to my panel, and you're my roommate.
They were helping me. Do you see how extra this bitch is?
Again, I told you to put Padme on.
Yeah, well, she takes forever, so better.
story,
Thank you.
my story actually has to deal with, like, I had a bullying experience at a con because of someone I dated, and I ended up very isolated from certain friend groups because of what they said behind my back at cons to people. So people wouldn't approach me, and I had to go up to the person and be like, hey, what's going on? I thought we were friends. Why are you doing this to me? And I ended up finding out that they're like, oh, well, I'm not really comfortable because I heard you lock people in the basement and you.
I'm sorry, what? Oh, wait. There's a basement party I wasn't invited to.
Yeah, that sounds more like what they
No,
do.
it was my parents' basement. There's no basement parties. Sorry. But I was like, no, my basement door, like, I had to physically get proof that my basement door does not have a lock on it, because it doesn't. And then they were like, oh, I can't believe they did this to you. I spent hours trying to mitigate all the damage that they did, and it really helped that I had such a strong friend group to be like, no, you got this. Keep going. And I feel like it's really important just to remember that, like, if the bullying happens, you just have to, I'm not good at speaking, sorry.
You are fantastic at speaking.
You are
And
amazing.
I think I know where you're going with this. If
Yes.
bullying happens, always protect yourself. If you defend yourself to somebody, and first off, why would anyone believe that story?
Yeah.
Yeah, who would believe that about a
don't
cinnamon
know,
roll?
Because
No!
Don't know you.
they probably knew the other person more than they knew me. Oh, sorry, more than they knew me, so they probably believed them, which happens.
Doesn't make it right.
You also have to remember in those kinds of situations, those who continue after you've told
No, I
them
got mine.
your side and showed proof,
I got
those
it.
aren't your friends.
Back, yeah.
That's right. Walk away.
I'll help you
That's
later.
actually one of the things we
I'll
brought
help
up. Where did Obi-Wan go?
All the
He's
way
right over there.
yeah.
Over there.
Jedi Ninja.
Yeah, I had like 3 of them surround me earlier. They've apparently learned shadow clone technique.
Oh no, Naruto crossover.
That worries me now.
Just side comment from the Peanut Gallery, a lot of people could benefit from mental health therapy and they have the internet and a keyboard.
Yeah.
This is a fact. So, who wants to hear an interesting story about mental health? Okay. Who knows what character I am?
Anakin.
Okay. So here's the thing about Anakin.
I was gonna be their wife, but too
Yes,
much.
that's my wife. She's decided she's going full I have no idea today.
Full pirate that will literally make you walk the plank. You want to try
Honestly,
me?
I don't know what the hell Padme wears most days. It's probably why I'm still with her.
She had such a big ship, half of it was filled with her outfits.
So here's the thing with mental health. It can appear in just about anyone. There is actually a lovely YouTube series about two licensed psychiatrists who go through movies, TV shows, video games, the characters we love, and they actually try and diagnose them.
Oh, I've actually watched it.
Yes. Who wants to take a guess what mental illness Anakin was diagnosed with?
I'm not saying anything. I already know.
PTSD.
No. Anakin was diagnosed as having 7 of the 9 check marks for borderline personality disorder. It is a slightly more advanced form of borderline personality disorder where his personality is completely split into a very aggressive Vader and a very happy, justice-filled, life is good and hope, sunshine personality. What most people don't seem to see is that people who are experiencing issues, who decide to run off and go join the dark side, are actually probably suffering themselves, but we don't currently have the resources, and we currently don't have the ability to help people in all the ways we should. America's mental health system sucks. I actually have borderline personality disorder myself. I was diagnosed 2 years ago, and because of that, my childhood growing up was very, very hard. My teenage years were incredibly difficult. I had a lot of problems. I didn't have a lot of friends because I couldn't control what was going on all the time. I'm on meds now, I'm much better. That's why I run this panel, it's so hard. I couldn't get therapy until I turned 21. One, my parents refused to sign any of the paperwork I needed while I was on their insurance. 2, it just wasn't available in my area. When I got a job that actually provided telehealth services, that's when I was finally able to get help. So the only reason I'm still here talking with you guys today, and I didn't, off myself on many chances that I had and or attempted, I had a very small friend group who knew something was wrong, and they tried their best. So if you have a friend that you believe is suffering, but the resources aren't there, you can still help them. You can be that, what? Okay, and I have until 11:45.
I know. I figured I'd let you know.
I know, I've got that one for time.
My phone's right here.
Exactly.
You go over there.
You interrupted a perfect story, go away.
Isn't that her
Say
job?
Ahsoka.
No.
Anyway, so yes, the only reason I'm still here talking to you guys today is because I did have that core friend group, and I still have problems today. My roommates who are all here, roommate 1, 2, 3, can all tell you that I sometimes have slips. They've seen me at my worst. They've seen me completely go full Vader mode and throw a chair because I either forgot my meds that day or something set me off into such a bad meltdown. They were there though, they understood, they calmed me down, they got me back into like, hey, everything's okay, please calm down. They understand that when things go wrong. Those are the types of friends you want to keep around, the friends that through your worst and through your best will be there for you, and they will understand. And when you can't get to mental health services, friends that can try and help you and sit and talk are the friends that you want to keep around and the friends you want to support. You can also be that friend. If you think you have somebody who's bipolar, schizophrenic, borderline, you can't physically stop what's happening to them. You can't diagnose them, but you can be that voice that's like, hey, it's okay, let's sit here, you want to cry, just hold them. You can be that. Yes, Beto.
I have considered charging you guys by the hour because of how often I have to listen to everything.
I'm fantastic. I don't know what you're talking about.
Uh-huh. I do take payment in food and cuddles.
I mean, I give you plenty of cuddles now. Come on, Padme. You cuddle me every damn night.
Just mentioning,
Yes.
52 now, 49 years old, got diagnosed with cyclothymia, which was the racing thoughts. We thought it was ADHD. It's a mild bipolar, so understood. And apparently most of my friends figured there was something going on all along, and I was like, really?
And they chose to stay with you anyway?
Exactly.
Those are good friends. I am happy for you.
Oh, and I'm in behavioral health now, so you're doing awesome.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, I was diagnosed with ADHD as a kid. I haven't seen a professional since then. But people just think ADHD, oh, they like to run around and be energetic.
That's not how it
There is
works.
burnout. The fact that I'm standing up here right now with this whole, I get overstimulated very easily. Not as much as my girlfriend, but I still get overstimulated. So it's not just all running around. If a spot is too loud, especially like concerts or something like that, raves, all the flashing lights and the beat, it'll get to you and you'll be like, I need to step outside. So if you don't have any friends around, but you know there's a way out,
Aww.
and you know there's a way out to get away from the situation, it does help. You gotta breather.
If people think mania's fun, the crash afterwards, not.
Mania is not fun. That is a misconception. People think the happy side of bipolar is great. It's not. We regret our decisions. Because from like 2018 till last year, it was originally bipolar. Then I was re-diagnosed because the meds they put me on were actually making it worse. And I had mania, like, I'd have mania for like 2 weeks and then I would crash so hard I'd be in a hospital.
Just so we know in the community, there is something called a gene site that they can do so that medications, specifically for our individual biochemistry, it'll tell which ones don't play well together in general, and then for us specifically, do not go there. But it's still amazing how today it's not standard.
This is a fact. My particular doctor just misdiagnosed and they were so overworked that when they did check in with me, my check-ins were like 15 minutes and they didn't catch the signs. My new doctor is fantastic. They spend much longer with me. Same company still, just this particular doctor refuses to take as many clients. But that's another thing. The mental health system is overworked beyond all belief. Yes, Beto.
One, what is with the echo? You're starting to like sound like your Vader self.
Yeah.
I was too close to the speaker.
Okay. Two, I've already told you I was diagnosed with bipolar as a young age. They didn't know how to diagnose me. They gave me too many meds that messed me up. I ended up in a mental hospital 3 times, and I still don't think I was ever properly diagnosed.
Again, I have a fantastic phone number.
I'm good. I think I've managed my mental health decently enough. You know me. You know I have.
Yes, you're doing much better than me.
Yeah, well, I was forced to.
What time is it? All right, so we are going to wrap up. I want to thank you all so much for coming, for sharing, for being here today. You were all fantastic. Hopefully you guys learned something, and you learned and were able to express yourself. Yes?
Just out of curiosity, loved the slideshow, but if you could make it bigger.
The
That's
text.
not actually my doing. It is full screen. That, I believe, is
Oh,
the
no,
con.
I mean like the text in there.
Oh,
if
the
you could
text.
just
Yeah, the
slide.
text.
So it actually can't go bigger with this particular slideshow, and I didn't find that out until after it was made.
Well, now you know for next year.
Yes, this is actually the new one for this year that was just made. Last year we had a completely I found out I was doing this panel a week before the panel happened, so they were just white slides with black text. This year I have paid somebody to help me make these, and this is what they came back with, and I was not happy but did not have time to fix or change it. So I will remember them for next year, and I will not be using that artist again. And if anyone wants to connect further, Ahsoka does have business cards. I can be emailed, I can be messaged on several platforms. I am always willing to talk to anyone. I have experienced years of mental health issues, and I also am a certified counselor to sit and talk with you. So,
The
yes,
irony.
I am actually certified to be talking about this. I am a counselor.
Give me a year and a half. Oh, no, I mean, give me a year and a half till I get my licensed social worker.
So I don't have a license, I have the certificate where you can sit and just talk. But I believe the next panel is coming in, so we are going to pass it on.
I mean, if you stuff, we just wanted to come sit and like chill. So if you guys.
No, my time's actually up.
Oh, is it? Okay.
But I mean, what time are we at?
Yeah.
Is it actually 11:45?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, well, we can talk some more. Hi, I'm Anakin. We're talking about mental health today. Something I don't have.
No, you have me to be your sounding board.
But yes, if nobody has anything else to say, we will finish up here because I do have to pass it off to the lovely next panels. I hope you guys all can stay and watch them. I'm sure they're wonderful. I don't know if they're here or not.
That's us.
Oh, that's you guys. I hope you have a great show. But yeah, we're gonna close down and you guys can come on up and we can trade off. All right? Have a great con, everyone. Thank you so much for coming. I hope you are learned a lot.
Thank you very much.
Oh wait, I didn't cut off your leg. Awesome.
I have the high ground.
Awesome.
No, hold on.
You're still streaming, I hope you know.
Stop the stream.
I'm not stopping until.
I'm not fighting him up here.
Okay, I'm ending it now.